You know, looking at the Ravens right now, it's kind of a mixed bag of excitement and reality check. I mean, when you start the season 1-5, it's rough. The conversations about getting back to 500 aren't just about pride, they're about survival in one of the most competitive conferences in football right now. The AFC is stacked. And it's not like you can just think, all right, mission accomplished, we're back in it. Back in what exactly? Because the season didn't start the way anyone expected. You've got teams like the Colts and Broncos clawing for relevance, the Jaguars hanging around. And over in the West, the Chargers still in the mix. Every game matters. Every team matters, and in the AFC North, Pittsburgh isn't going away, they're pacing themselves, waiting for opportunities, and they'll capitalize on any mistake you make. So yeah, getting to 500 is good, it's progress. But it's really just the start. The real challenge begins now, especially as you hit the stretch from week 10 onward. That 6 to 7 week stretch is going to be brutal. No let-ups, no breathing room, because every opponent is coming at you like it's their Super Bowl. Look at the Patriots. For example, of all teams, they're at the top of the AFC East. People always talk about the Bills, but the Patriots have quietly been dominating, winning 8 games in a row, and now they're in second place in their own division. That's not a fluke. You can't underestimate it. Overall, yes, the picture looks promising for the Ravens' defense is stepping up. There are bright spots on offense, but the ultimate goal, the main thing, hasn't changed. It's about making the playoffs, and you're not there yet. Every game is crucial. The AFC is tight, and new blood is making waves. Colts, Broncos, Patriots, these aren't the same teams from a decade ago. They're reinvented, hungry, and coming after the established powers like the Bills, Ravens, Steelers, and Chiefs. The balance of power has shifted, and you can't get comfortable for a second. You have to keep playing, keep pushing, and embrace that aggression. It feels almost nostalgic, like the early 2000s. When Tom Brady's Patriots and Peyton Manning's Colts were dominating, those days seem gone. But the spirit of those rivalries is back, with a new twist. Even Manning's Broncos from back in the day had that intensity. Right now, Kansas City is watching from the outside. Buffalo is not leading the East like expected, and the AFC feels wide open. There's a lot at stake, and every game is a test. One of the most fascinating things to watch has been the transformation of the Ravens' defense. Early in the season, they were struggling mightily, bottom 5 in scoring defense. Poor against the pass, poor against the run, lacking confidence, seemingly reacting instead of dictating. But ever since the Rams game and the bye week, the mindset has shifted dramatically. You can see it on the field. Aggression, discipline, confidence. Draymond Jones has been a huge part of this shift, embracing the defensive mentality and stepping up in crucial moments. Players like Nick Moore, Marlon Humphrey, and Kenoi have all been energized, and the stadium atmosphere has clearly impacted the team. After a game against the Browns, Jones pointed out that momentum wasn't something the team gained from external factors, it was already there, driven internally by leaders like Roquan Smith, who bring focus and unity to the defense. This isn't new for Jones. He's been delivering this kind of leadership and mindset throughout the season. Early losses and injuries seemed to shake the team, but now, with key players back, the Ravens are not just responding, they're controlling games, forcing turnovers, winning one-on-ones, and taking the aggressor role instead of reacting to opponents. The defensive improvement is measurable and visible. Even though the Ravens are not facing the league's elite offenses in this stretch, their performance is showing significant growth. They're climbing back and ranking 17th in passing defense, 22nd in rushing, but that's a massive improvement from where they were earlier. Third down conversions and red zone efficiency are rising. Turnovers are being forced again. And week by week, the defense is asserting itself. Players like Kyle Hamilton and Draymond Jones have been central to this resurgence, setting the tone with their aggressiveness and leadership. Roquan Smith's mentality of never letting a rookie quarterback or inexperienced defense dictate the game has resonated. The team has embraced it, knowing that no matter the opponent, they have to enforce their will on the field. This attitude has extended to games against young quarterbacks like Caleb Williams and J.J. McCarthy. Even though these quarterbacks have their own flashes of brilliance, the Ravens' defense has held firm, forcing turnovers, controlling the line of scrimmage, and dictating momentum. Momentum, of course, is one of the trickiest things in football. It can swing on a single play, a single mistake, or a single explosive moment that makes the Ravens' defensive focus even more critical. When Dylan Gabriel went out against Cleveland, the team didn't falter. They maintained perspective, kept discipline, and executed at a high level, proving the internal momentum was real and sustainable. Leadership from within, communication on the field, and adherence to the game plan have been critical to maintaining that stability. Week by week, the Ravens' defense has improved in confidence, in execution, and in identity, embracing the mindset of control rather than reaction. Meanwhile, the AFC North race is heating up, and the schedule doesn't get any easier. Baltimore's upcoming games against division rivals like Pittsburgh and competitive squads like the Bengals will test whether the Ravens can maintain their momentum and carry this improved defensive identity forward. Pittsburgh may have its own challenges with Aaron Rodgers' injury, but Mason Rudolph is a seasoned quarterback in his own right, and the Steelers remain a threat, especially late in the season. The Ravens' home stretch includes a critical 3-game stand, facing teams like the Jets, Bengals, and Steelers. Each game is an opportunity, yes, but also a trap if they get complacent. You cannot pencil in a win in the AFC North. History shows that surprises happen, and rivalries make games unpredictable. Baltimore has to balance confidence with caution. The defense is playing like a top team now, but every player, every assignment, every matchup matters. Turnovers, red zone stops, third down efficiency, all of these small details add up to wins in a tight conference. Star receivers like Lamar Chase or T. Higgins aren't just opponents, they're benchmarks for the Ravens' defensive prowess. The team's ability to neutralize these threats in critical moments is exactly what will separate a playoff contender from a pretender. Rookie mistakes will be punished, experience will be tested, and the Ravens have to stay disciplined to keep their momentum. The overarching theme here is that while Baltimore has clawed back to a .500 record, the journey is far from over. The lessons from early losses, injuries, and setbacks have been internalized, and the team's defensive resurgence is the cornerstone of their push forward. They are not just surviving, they are asserting themselves, forcing opponents to react, and setting the tone for the second half of the season. Every matchup from here on out is a test, a battle, and an opportunity to prove that this Ravens team is not just a temporary contender but a legitimate force in the AFC. Confidence is rising, but the margin for error is razor thin, and the team knows it. This is the point where momentum meets execution, where strategy meets talent, and where leadership both on and off the field will determine how far the Ravens can go. Now, looking ahead, the Ravens' path through the rest of the season is a test of consistency, focus, and mental toughness. They've gotten to .500, yes, but that's the starting line of the real challenge. From here on out, every game is about maintaining momentum, exploiting matchups, and making sure that no opponent catches them off guard. The AFC North is unforgiving, and while Pittsburgh has shown cracks late in previous seasons, you can never underestimate a division rival, especially when history tells you that anything can happen in these head-to-head battles. The Steelers have experience, depth, and a quarterback who, even if not at full strength, knows how to manage pressure. Baltimore has to treat every snap as if it could be the turning point of the season, because in this conference, that really could be the case. The Ravens' defense, as impressive as it has been over the last month, will continue to be the deciding factor. The way they've shifted from reactive to aggressive is critical. Players like Draymond Jones have become anchors, setting the tone, winning one-on-one matchups, and pushing the entire unit to execute at a high level. When you combine that with the steady leadership of Roquan Smith and the constant playmaking of Kyle Hamilton, Baltimore is becoming a defense that doesn't just react, it dictates how games unfold. That's the difference between a team that wins in spurts and a team that dominates consistently. The momentum they've built isn't fragile anymore. It's intentional, it's coached, and it's fueled by players who have bought fully into the team's identity. Offense is still a work in progress, but it doesn't need to be perfect for this Ravens team to succeed. They're finding ways to capitalize on defensive stops, control field position, and put points on the board when it matters most. The key is minimizing mistakes, maintaining composure under pressure, and exploiting opportunities that arise from turnovers or failed plays by the opposition. The Ravens are learning to convert defensive dominance into offensive advantage, and that's a mindset that separates playoff-caliber teams from the rest. Every drive, every possession, and every red zone opportunity is a chance to reinforce the team's identity and build confidence for the weeks ahead. The upcoming schedule is both a blessing and a test. Baltimore has a 3-game home stretch coming up, facing the Jets, Bengals, and Steelers. On paper, it's favorable, But that's exactly where discipline becomes crucial. These teams aren't pushovers. And any slip in focus could be catastrophic. Cincinnati, with its explosive talent and playoff experience, is a constant threat. Lamar Chase has proven time and again that he can change a game in a single play, and T. Higgins isn't far behind. The Ravens' secondary will need to be at its best, and the front seven will need to pressure, disrupt, and limit big plays. Every matchup is a chess game where each side is looking to outmaneuver the other, and Baltimore has to anticipate, adjust, and dominate simultaneously. Pittsburgh is the wild card in this equation, even with Aaron Rodgers sidelined. Mason Rudolph presents challenges of his own. He's not the same quarterback as Rodgers, but he's competent, experienced, and capable of exploiting any lapse in coverage. The Ravens have to approach these games with the mentality that the Steelers are dangerous, regardless of who's under center. History has shown that Pittsburgh can surprise, especially late in the season, and Baltimore must maintain intensity, discipline, and execution to prevent any momentum swings. Every snap counts, every coverage matters, and every defensive play could be the difference between a win and a loss. Meanwhile, the rest of the AFC is evolving, and Baltimore cannot afford to look beyond the conference. Teams like the Patriots, Colts, and Broncos are hungry, competitive, and capable of creating chaos in the standings. Injuries, unexpected performances, and breakout games from young talent can shift the balance in an instant. The Ravens have to keep their eyes on their own performance while being ready for anything the conference throws at them. Discipline, preparation, and mental toughness will be key factors in navigating this landscape. The defense will continue to anchor the team, but situational awareness and offensive execution must keep pace. Momentum is one of the most fragile aspects of football, and Baltimore has learned that the hard way earlier this season. One misstep, one blown assignment, one explosive play by an opponent, and the energy of a game can flip instantly. That's why leadership, focus, and communication are so vital. Players like Draymond Jones, Roquan Smith, and Kyle Hamilton are central to maintaining that mental edge, ensuring that the team doesn't just react to the game but controls it. The philosophy of aggression, discipline, and execution must remain consistent. The Ravens have to push every advantage, force every turnover, and prevent any opponent from dictating the rhythm of the game. That mindset has been the foundation of their recent improvement, and it must continue if they are going to reach the playoffs and compete at a high level. One of the most impressive things about this Ravens team is their ability to adapt. They've faced adversity in the form of injuries, early losses, and tough opponents, yet they've responded. The defensive improvements have been tangible: better third down defense, more turnovers forced, and improved red zone performance. The offense has been capable enough to capitalize on opportunities, and the team is learning how to translate momentum into points every week. They're improving incrementally, which is exactly what a team needs to do when navigating the final stretch of a season in a competitive division. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support keeps us bringing you the latest news on the Baltimore Ravens. And hey, drop your take in the comments below. We want to hear from the flock. A storm seems to be brewing in Baltimore, and it's coming straight from the mouth of Lamar Jackson. The quarterback, known for his fiery competitiveness and candid comments, reportedly dropped a bombshell that has quickly set the rumor mill spinning in our group. Most of us don't want to see him here at the Ravens again. The cryptic remark has left fans, analysts, and insiders scrambling to decode who exactly Jackson was referring to and what it might mean for the team's locker room dynamics. Inside sources suggest that tension has been simmering behind the scenes for some time. The Ravens' locker room, often praised for its unity and tight-knit culture, now seems to have at least one significant fracture. Jackson's common hints at a broader sentiment among players, sparking questions about team chemistry, management decisions, and potential personnel moves. Could this be a hint at a high-profile trade? Or is it a reflection of lingering frustrations with a teammate who has clashed with the leadership? While no names have officially surfaced, speculation is rampant. Some point to a veteran who recently returned to the roster after a controversial exit. Others suspect a star whose attitude or off-field behavior has caused friction. The mystery only adds fuel to the fire, with social media exploding with theories and conjecture. Analysts have been quick to weigh in, suggesting that Jackson's candidness could be a strategic play to sway public opinion or put pressure on the front office. Beyond the rumor itself, The comment raises questions about the Ravens' culture under Jackson's leadership. He has long been respected for his ability to inspire teammates and lead by example. But this latest revelation paints a picture of a quarterback unafraid to speak his mind. Even if it shakes the foundation of the locker room, fans are left wondering, is this a one-off outburst or does it signal a deeper, more complicated chapter in Baltimore football? Regardless of the answer, one thing is clear: the Ravens are at the center of a story that promises intrigue, speculation, and plenty of headlines. With Jackson at the helm, any locker room drama is bound to make waves. And the next moves both on the field and in the front office will be watched more closely than ever. The only certainty is uncertainty, and Baltimore's fanbase may be in for a roller coaster ride of rumors before the fog clears. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay in the loop with exclusive news on our Baltimore Ravens, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'd love to hear what the flock thinks. Drop your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next one.